Get off the sidelines and take control of your financial future at www.tackletrading.com. Get in the game.
Okay, welcome to our market recap here on the 1st of July, 2015. This is Coach T with TackleTrading.com. Let's get started. Let's start with the heat maps. Actually, let's start with the news. Over at the Trade Center and Tackle Trading, you kind of have everything organized for you. And it's a great way to, stay on top of the markets. Today, Wednesday, the Dow up 138.79%, the Nasdaq up 26, the S&P up 14. Advanced decline line was very positive for the bulls, bullish volume coming in as well. Some strong sectors: discretionary financials, healthcare, relative weakness, energy, tech, telecom, industrials, and utilities. Moving the market, global markets surge amid reports Greece is now ready to accept all creditor demands. German Chancellor Angela Merkel says negotiations will not resume before Sunday referendum. So that's the day you got to pay attention to. Now, if you're a Forex trader and you go into the weekend, with a position, that is the time you can get a Forex gap, is over the weekend. Friday at the New York close until Sunday at the Sydney Bank Open, you have news that could potentially come out. The referendum is on Sunday. They'll vote for it. We'll see how it shakes out. Let's take a look at the heat maps. There should be a lot of green with the market up today. And that's what we see. The only thing really down was basic materials. We'll talk about oil here in just a minute. Technology up, financials up, services, consumer goods, healthcare, industrial goods, utilities, mostly up. Bearish was the basic materials sector. Look at the world map. Mixed, Brazil down, some of the North American areas were down, a few companies in the UK down, but a lot of green in here as well. China was down last night. We'll see what happens as it spills into today. Let's look at the futures contracts. Intraday chart on the S&P 500. Early morning, you kind of see the 8 a.m., 6 a.m., 4 a.m. down here. This is intraday. This is a 5-minute chart right here. Rally when the European session was open. Flat, sold off into midday, rallied towards the end of the day, finished where it finished, about 1/3% up. If we look at all of the indices kind of stacked against each other on a daily chart, we still haven't recovered what we sold off the other day, but we've come back from the low point to where it gapped to. So Monday morning we had gapped to about 17,700, and then it came down, and we've rallied back, had a couple of green candles in a row, solidifying it. Not out of the woods yet, I wouldn't say. On the daily chart, you still have slowing momentum up here at the high. You've got some support down here about 2050. It would be a real bearish trigger if you sold below 2050 at this point. So that's a level to kind of keep an eye on, kind of consolidating back into a range. We're moving into a holiday weekend, shortened trading weekend, 4th of July here in the U.S. So that is a consideration. Earnings season coming up soon. The month of July is earnings season, so check your stocks whenever you're looking at one. Let's look at the energy stocks and crude oil specifically. Crude oil inventories were up today. They were expected to be down. If we look at the Forex calendar real quick, you can always get that data directly from the calendar. This was tomorrow. Let's go back to the 1st and apply the settings. This is today. Let's only do it for the US dollar and add the orange impact event for the EIA numbers. Crude oil inventories, they were actually up 2.4 million barrels. They were expected to be down. They were forecasted to lose about 2 million barrels, and they had a surprise build. Crude oil has the potential of pressure in this market right now. You have the Iranian deal looming, which potentially, if they lift some of the economic sanctions, they've been negotiating that this week, that could allow Iran to put oil out onto the world markets. That could put supply out there they weren't expecting, could drive the price. I'd be cautious here with oil. In the commodity report, we've been neutral for a while. I'd be fairly cautious here and make sure that you're watching these levels. Support point right here at 56 on crude. A break below support on any kind of news or volume would be very, very, very bearish. Until it does that, though, you're waiting on a trigger, and it has come down here before and then rallied. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a bounce, but I'm watching this very, very closely. Let's look at the metals market. Gold on support, silver on support, 1550 on the spot price, 1167 on the gold price. Waiting on a rally there, kind of sitting on long-term support, especially silver. We've talked about this one quite a bit. Support, 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 support. Now short-term bearish, long-term neutral. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. Let's look at the currency markets. Last but not least, the U.S. dollar has rallied on some of this news. Okay, it's trying to find its way. It's got resistance right here. Check the Forex report for detailed analysis of the currency markets. Like the bounce, like the rally. Interesting here. And that is against the euro selling off. The euro is under some pressure down here. And that's from all this Greece news. If breakdown, probably could see another 300 or 400 pips to the downside on a breakdown on some of this Greece news. Now that volatility event can really get wild though, so you gotta know how to trade that if you're gonna trade into that. Looks like they don't like my current. Keep the color. Don't show me this message again. All right, now news for the rest of the week. Let's look at the calendar. Upcoming U.S. news to pay attention to. And here we are. Not news. Actually, let's go to the economic calendar. So this is where I want to be. Okay, employment situation on Thursday, that's tomorrow morning. Jobless claims, this could drive some market activity in the morning. Definitely anything to do with the jobs market can do that. Nat gas report in the commodities market. Remember, markets are closed on Friday the 3rd because banks are going to shut down earlier, and the banks may be open for currency trading. So that's the thing, is internationally you can still get Forex action even when, say, stock markets or U.S. commodity markets are closed. So you got to know what you're trading. That does bump up expiration. If you have July 1 weekly options, you got to consider that for tomorrow. Make sure that you know what you're doing. All right, that has been the market update from TackleTrading.com. We're putting a lot of content out there. This next week, we're going to be having a coaches show on Tuesday. If you're a pro member, always mark your calendar. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, the coaches get together to talk about the markets and try to attend that. Get in the game.